What if you controlled the biggest sports on Earth? In 1989, a man named Jerry Jones borrowed money to buy a football team for $140 million. His friends thought he'd lost his mind. 35 years later, that team is worth $13 billion. That's not a typo. That's a 9,000% return, while the stock market, the safe bet, would have given you 2,800%. But here's the part nobody talks about. Jerry Jones didn't get rich from football. He got rich from something most fans never even notice. And by the end of this video, you'll see exactly what it is, and why it might be the greatest legal money machine ever built. Act 1. The Empire. You didn't know you were building. Let's start with a number that will break your brain. The four biggest American sports leagues, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, pulled in a combined $45 billion in a single year. That's more than the GDP of most countries on Earth. But here's the open loop. That number is almost irrelevant to what team owners actually earn. Because the real money doesn't come from the game at all. It comes before kickoff, before tip-off, before a single athlete laces up a shoe. In 2021, the NFL signed an 11-year, $110 billion broadcasting deal with CBS, Fox, NBC, ESPN, and Amazon. That's $10 billion a year, locked in for a decade, just for the right to show the games. Not play them, show them. Every NFL team owner woke up the morning that deal was signed and became, on paper, significantly richer. Not because they did anything, because a network committed to writing checks. That's the business. That's what you're buying when you buy a sports team. You're not buying the sport. You're buying the toll road. And every network, every streaming platform, every advertiser has to pay you to pass. Act 2. The numbers that will make you sit down. Wait, let's do the real math on what these empires generate. The Dallas Cowboys, most valuable sports franchise on the planet, worth over $13 billion in 2025. That means every single day, Jerry Jones wakes up controlling assets that generate roughly $1.1 million per day in franchise appreciation alone, just from sitting there. The NBA just signed its own 11-year, $77 billion media deal, kicking in from the 2025 to 26 season. League revenue hit $11.3 billion in 2024, projected to hit $14.3 billion this season. That's a 12% jump in a single year. But here's the moment that should make you stop scrolling. In India, there's a cricket league most Americans have never heard of, the IPL, founded in 2008. 18 years old, its media rights deal, $6.2 billion over 4 years. And its final, one match, draws 400 million TV viewers. That's more people than the entire population of the United States watching one game. When the IPL final airs, more humans are watching it than have ever watched the Super Bowl, the World Cup final, or the Olympics opening ceremony. And most Western investors still haven't built a position in it. Open loop. There's one sport, not the NFL, not the NBA, quietly becoming the most valuable rights acquisition on Earth right now. We'll get there. Act 3. The story nobody told you about F1. In 2016, a company called Liberty Media bought an entire sport for $4.4 billion. The sport was Formula One, considered, at the time, a niche European motorsport. Wealthy, prestigious, but closed off, cold. A sport that actively made itself hard to follow. Then Liberty did something counterintuitive. Instead of focusing on the racing, they focused on the drama, the rivalries, the crashes, the feuds between drivers that the old guard had kept behind closed doors for decades. They made a Netflix show, Drive to Survive. You've probably heard of it. Between 2019 and 2024, F1's cumulative viewership went from 400 million to 1.5 billion people. F1 teams now average $3.6 billion in value. Mercedes alone was reportedly worth $6 billion in 2025, higher than 8 NFL franchises, 24 NBA franchises, and every Premier League club except Real Madrid and Manchester United. One streaming show. One decision to open the curtain. That's what changed the value of an entire sport. The lesson? You're not buying a sport, you're buying a story. And whoever controls the story controls the money. Act 4, what it actually costs to get in. Alright, you're convinced. So what does ownership actually cost? Entry level, a League 2 soccer club in England, $5 to $15 million. You get a concrete stadium, players with day jobs, and the thrill of promotion battles. Low glamour, surprisingly real. Mid-tier, an average NBA franchise, roughly $3 billion. You don't negotiate your own TV deal. The league does it for you and deposits your share. It's the most passive $3 billion you'll ever spend. The Summit, an NFL franchise, average value $6.49 billion. The Dallas Cowboys, if they ever went on sale, they won't, would list north of $13 billion. And the NFL decides whether you're allowed to buy. Existing owners vote on whether you're their kind of people. This isn't a stock purchase. It's an invitation to a club that almost never opens its doors. Here's the part that should scare you, in the best way. There are only 32 NFL slots in existence, 30 NBA teams, 20 Premier League spots. Supply is permanently capped, and nobody is selling. The last time an NFL team sold was the Denver Broncos in 2022. Price, $4.65 billion, a record that already looks like a bargain. Wait, what? The Broncos sold for a discount of $4.65 billion and now look undervalued 2 years later. That's the world we're in. Act 5, how it goes wrong. So, why do some sports owners end up humiliated? 2 reasons, every single time. Debt. They borrow to buy. The asset appreciates. The interest payments don't care. European soccer is littered with clubs bought on leveraged deals that collapsed the moment revenues dipped. A pandemic, a relegation, one bad injury. The broadcast money is guaranteed. The loans are not. Wrong market. You can buy the right asset in the wrong city. You can build a stadium a fan base won't fill. You can build your franchise around one star who tears his ACL in week 2. The structural edge is real, but it punishes impatience and ego in equal measure. The owners who get generationally rich in sports aren't the ones chasing rings. They're the ones who understand the championship is the marketing. The media deal is the business. The end game, the wealth calculation. Let's end with the full picture. Shahid Khan bought the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2012 for $770 million. The franchise is now worth over $5 billion. He also owns Fulham FC in England. He built a multi-continental sports empire, while the franchise itself has never won a Super Bowl. Fans, networks, advertisers, governments, they all pay to use it. Forever, scarce assets, guaranteed broadcast revenue, never for sale, growing faster than inflation. Built on infrastructure taxpayers fund. There is no other investment class that looks like this. Not real estate, not tech, not gold. The only question is, which sport, which market, and how early can you get in? Before everyone else understands what you already know. Subscribe.